Staff, General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Army Staff, General Manoj Pandey, Secretary ESW, Shri Vijay Kumar Singh, Dr. Sameer V. Kamath, Secretary DRDO, Mrs. Rashka Chaube, Financial Advisor, Shri S.G. Dastidar, Additional CGDA, distinguished policy makers, academics and government functionaries from India and abroad, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to inaugurate the International Conference on Defence Finance and Economics being held under the aegis of MOD Finance. The modern era, contradistinct from earlier ages, is the age of nation-states. The nation-states perform many indispensable functions, including ensure security, make provision for the welfare of the community, promote socio-economic development, and so on. Of all these functions, ensuring security of the populace from external aggression and internal disruptions is the most primal function of the state. Whatever be the political system in the state, be it monarchy or oligarchy or democracy, the responsibility of security lies with the states. As I have mentioned on earlier occasions also, though the security in itself an irreducible objective, there is an instrumental aspect of security as well. It is that the full potential of society's development can be realized only when it is secure from external and internal threats. Taking the argument further to its logical conclusion, we clearly see that security is the bedrock on which the prosperity, arts and culture of any society flourish and prosper. Friends, security is broadly categorized into internal security and external security. The responsibility of external security lies principally with the defense forces of the country, and however, defense forces require a superstructure of defense ecosystem involving research and development organization, defense production industry, soldier welfare organizations, etc. The defense forces, apart from such a superstructure, require a well-funded system with a robust defense finance architecture to ensure optimum utilization and financial resources of the nation. That is, the strong defense forces require the backing of a robust defense finance system. The history attests what I just said. Defense finance has always been an integral part of the statecraft, even 2,000 to 3,000 years earlier. Also, the ancient Indian treatise on statecraft mentioned army dependence on a strong finance for its upkeep. In the times of massive standing army was maintained. It introduced means that how their finances were being managed at that time. All I can say is that their system of defense finance must have been very efficient. Friends, while we are still talking about historical facts, let me point out to you something more about the epoch-defining significance of the system of defense finance. Such was the importance of defense finance that when the system of funding of armed forces changed, the entire era of human society got changed. One of the most important things that differentiates the medieval era from the modern era is the structure of armed forces and the mode of their funding. In the medieval era, the armed forces were mostly maintained by a feudal lord and mode of funding was decentralized, though a system of land revenue grants to the feudal lords. The concept of a large standing army being held explicitly by the central government was achieved in the modern era when the funding of armed forces got centralized. My dear friends, such is the power and impact of defense finance. When we are told about this conference on defense finance and economics, I noted that the subject is not limited to defense finance only, rather it has been expanded by including economics into it. Economics, as we all know, is the history of scarcity and its implications for the use of resources, production of goods and services, growth of production and welfare over time, and the variety of other complexes of vital. I think addition of this work have given much wider dimensions to the discussions in this gathering. I think defense economics can present a useful way of looking at the defense-related issues from the perspective of efficient allocation and use of scarce resources. Friends, defense system requires money, and the money spent on defense has an opportunity cost attached to it. The classical definition of the opportunity cost can be simplified to say that it is the value of the benefit foregone or the value of the alternative uses to which the money could have been deployed. The funds which are deployed for the defense requirements could otherwise be deployed for development, welfare, poverty alleviation, creation of social infrastructure, etc. All these are worthy alternative uses which are constrained to pay for the defense ecosystem. With such sacrifices being made, it is imperative that we use the money allocated to the defense needs in the most judicious manner possible. Friends, this background will make us understand the following observations from across the world. Wherever there is a mature state system, a legal and procedural defense finance framework is already built in to ensure prudent management of the defense expenditure. This ensures that the defense spending is well within the allocated budget and the full value of money is realized. Such defense finance framework includes expenditure control as per guidelines, financial advice by professionals, audit, payment, authentication mechanism, etc. I have been told that there are studies that the corruption and waste in the defense expenditure is greatly reduced by a robust system of defense finance. Friends, if you look at the defense economics perspective, we will be immediately realize that it is very difficult to apply the economic concept of full value of money in the realm of defense expenditure. This is because in defense sector there is no visible revenue stream and also no easily identifiable beneficiaries. Rather, the benefits are too abstract, uncertain, and non-quantifiable. For example, whether the acquisition of a defense equipment has resulted in the envisaged deterrence against the enemy and has enhanced security for the people would be very difficult to quantitatively assess in monetary terms. Friends, having said that, I want to emphasize here that difficult is not the same thing as impossible. We can always try to devise intelligent ways towards maximizing the value of money spent on defense needs. For instance, in the case of procurement of defense platforms or equipment, either under capital or revenue route, the gold standard of open tender should be adopted to the extent possible. A competitive bid-based procurement process which is open to all is the best possible way to realize the full value of the public money being spent. Of course, there would be some rare cases when it may not be possible to go for open tender process. However, such instances would come under exceptions, and exceptions should not become the rule. The rule of competitive bidding through open tender must be followed in the domain of defense procurement. Friends, to have a fair, transparent and honest system of defense capital and revenue procurements, we must have comprehensive blue books codifying the rules and procedures of procurement of defense equipment and systems. In our case, we have formulated such blue books in the form of defense acquisition procedure DAP 2020 for capital acquisition and defense procurement manual DPM for revenue procurement and delegation of financial powers to defense services. These provide rules and guidelines as well as procedures for capital and revenue procurement. These manuals play a very important role in ensuring that process of defense procurement is rule-bound and follows the principles of financial propriety. Since these manuals are also critical, they need to be carefully crafted by defense finance and procurement experts in consultation with all the stakeholders. And this needs to be a continuous exercise so that these documents are dynamically updated, incorporating new rules and procedures as and when required. Friends, along with such procurement manuals for the defense sector, the role of expert financial advice to the service personnel in the day-to-day financial matters is also very significant. Generally, the domain experts of defense may not be having detailed financial knowledge or expertise. That is why the system of integrated financial advisor, IFA, has been created who can provide dispassionate and sound financial advice to the competent financial authority, CFA. This is beneficial to the CFAs as it helps them in avoiding the wastage of public money. In this system, the IFA and the CFA work as a team, sailing in the same boat, working towards utilizing public money in a prudent manner. When I am talking about financial prudence here, I mean the financial prudence shown by a person of ordinary intellect towards his or her own money. Friends, even after following all the principles of financial prudence and propriety, there would be instances of wastages, pilferages, and even corruption. That is why a robust system of internal and external audit needs to be put in place. The role of auditors is that of a watchdog or a sentinel. In India, the external audit is done by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. An independent internal audit mechanism is also a part of the defense finance system in India. Similarly, there should be a sound system of accounting, passing of bills and payment, salary and pension dispersal, etc., as it frees our defense personnel to concentrate on their core jobs. When the functions of defense finance are separated from the core defense organizations, it has multiple advantages. The chances of leakages, corruption, wastages are reduced. A positive public opinion is generated when there is a justified confidence that public money is being spent optimally and prudently. With greater public trust and confidence in the system of defense expenditure, the defense system benefits overall as the chances of greater funding by legislature increases pari passu. I have spoken about the full value of the public money being spent in the defense domain. The financial advice to be based on sound economic analysis, internal audit, payment and accounting, etc. If I may comprehensively sum up the things I have spoken about so far, the central idea is that defense establishments like Army, Navy, Air Force, defense research organizations, etc. required a specialized agency which is dedicated to defense, finance and economics. In India, this work is being done very competently by the Defense Accounts Department under the leadership of the Financial Advisor, Defense Services, Mrs. Vasika Chaube. To our international delegates, I have to put forth the idea of shared security. In the spirit of collective security of the whole world as one family, we are all partners in the path towards a secure and prosperous future for the entire humankind. We believe that we have a lot to learn from our experiences in the field of the defense finance and economics, and we are ready to share our learning with you all. Friends, I want to take a moment here to appreciate the efforts put in by the FADS and the Defense Accounts Department for conceptualizing and organizing this international seminar. I hope that this international conference on defense, finance and economics will provide the participants with a platform where they would be able to acquire a better understanding of global trends in the process of defense expenditure and learn from each other. I thank our guests from across the seas and across the borders of joining us. I am sure we will be enriched by your presence and hope that you will enjoy the Indian hospitality. My best wishes for the seminar with these viewers. Jai Hind to all.